welcome to Select Arcane. After just coming off hosting a show in April and attending one in May, showing has really been on my mind. And with so many new people in my region excited to host their own shows, this kind of prompted me to create a how-to video for fellow Canadians and, I suppose, Americans who are interested in hosting their own shows. Trust me when I say it can be really daunting to host your own show, especially for the first time. There's a lot to consider, including your budget, the venue, your showers, and everything from food to prizes. But let's take it one step at a time and break everything down. And at the end, I'm going to break down all the costs and see if this feels worthwhile for you. Before we get into the meat of this video, there's two really important things to consider. Make sure this show is convenient for you. There are going to be a lot of voices once you announce your show. Some a little more critical than others. So it's important to remember that you are the one running it and you are the one paying for it. Secondly, taking over an existing show may not be the right choice for you, and I'll explain why. When I took over Toronto Live, it was considered Lisa Sharp's show. I had to make changes like the venue because it was over 3 hours away from my home. And it seemed like no matter what I did, it wasn't good enough. So sometimes it's actually better to just start from scratch and create your own name and your own identity. That way, there's nothing for anyone to compare you to. Like I said, let's just go step by step here. Let's talk about the venue. This is the first thing I do when I'm ready to host a new show. Because without a venue, there's no show. How many people are you expecting to attend? What is your budget? How long will your show likely run for? These are some of the really important questions that help you choose a venue. Cheaper venues like community centers have limited hours, usually ending at 5 p.m. More expensive venues will give you the time, but will you be able to afford it? Here's a little checklist that I use. Does this venue have enough space for your show? Will they accommodate for the tables and chairs that you'll need? Is this venue accessible for showers to bring in their horses with a dolly and carry everything in? Will there be enough natural light? Is there free parking available? What else is in the area for people who aren't showing? And does this venue fit into your budget? If you're going to be hosting a standard show like Toronto Live, consider a 6-foot table per person with 2 chairs, because everyone is probably going to be bringing a buddy with them to help out, like a parent or spouse. If your venue has extra perks like pre-setup and teardown, take it. It's usually not that much more expensive and it will save you so much headache before your show. And lastly, expect this. Just remember, you're hosting, you're paying, you are running the show. Insurance gets rolled into venue and your venue provider will explain what your cost is. We'll talk about that later during budgeting. To NAN or not to NAN, that is the question. NAMSA, or the North American Model Horse Shows Association, is kind of the governing body for all model horse shows in North America that aim to go to the nationals. NAN stands for Nationals, essentially. Think of it as the big champion show after you show at all the local shows, and all of the best get together for one final hurrah. If you're not familiar with NAMSA, I'm going to put their link in the description box below, and also I recommend that you see my beginner showing seminar video because that kind of explains more of it. By the way, us Canadians are Region 11. So why is NAMSA important for model horse shows, and do you need to sign your show up to be a NAMSA show? Well, here are the perks and the downsides. On the positive side, being a NAN qualified tends to draw more people to your show. If you're not NAN qualified, a lot of people tend to not go because they need their horses to be qualified to be able to go to the nationals. Professional artists, for example, or really serious showers. Sometimes, and not every year, Breyer will host the live show benefit program. This is when a special run model is donated to your show. These models tend to be a vintage body with a brand new paint job, and they tend to be very valuable. If you do want to apply for that program, you do need to be NAN qualified already, but just remember it's not available all the time. And thirdly, NAMSA will advertise your show on their website for you. There are negatives, however. For example, you can't be as flexible with your class list or show package as you may want to be. You do need to hold certain classes and certain divisions, because it's mandatory to be part of the program. It does cost extra, like buying the cards and getting all of this processed. Bigger the show, more cards you need, more cost. Counting this amount and budgeting and all of that creates a lot more extra work before the show. And when you're tallying the results, you have to edit everything properly and send it all to Nan. This creates a lot of work after the show. And finally, the number one reason I don't really like being part of the Nan program is hosts and family members cannot show, and that's a fact. I mean, it's completely fair. You can be completely biased when judging a family member's horse, but it means I don't get a show as much as I want to. Now, just because your show isn't Nan qualified does not mean people just won't come. Big destination shows like the Jennifer Show or Candyland Live in the United States have completely demolished and reinvented the model horse show. These are shows with huge, alluring prizes, completely unique class lists, and different types of performance classes. When you go, you experience something completely brand new. Also, on the other end of the spectrum are the mini shows that are in people's homes and you just want something small in one afternoon. You don't need Nan cards, and not everyone does go to the nationals. Some people just go to model horse shows for fun. I think the first thing on everyone's mind when you decide to host a model horse show is what color ribbons you're going to have and what prizes you're going to give away. But hold on, rein yourself in. These get really expensive if you're not careful. The rosettes that you see are made by real horse show ribbon makers. They will have a variety of styles for you to choose from and a variety of colors so you can mix and match, and you can give them your logo to make it really special. The bigger the ribbon and the more custom features, the more expensive it's going to be, and these really add up depending on how many classes you're going to have. These rosettes are reserved for championships at the end of each division. Champ gets one color set, and the reserve gets the second color set. For regular placings from 1st to 6th, you can ask the same company to make you satin ribbons just like the same as regular horse shows. Again, expenses do add up. If you want to save some money, you can make them out of paper and have them printed yourself, or through somebody like Staples. Some destination shows, like the Jennifer Show again, go as far as sculpting their own medallions and casting them themselves. These days, resin costs have skyrocketed, so unless you have a huge budget planned, don't bother with this. And finally, the raffle table. Hold on, again, contain yourself. The attendees of your show are going to be more than happy to bring in some raffle items. This will allow for a lot more variety and allow you to save a bit of money. Having a sponsor for your show also will help. That sponsor will be able to purchase one larger item to be the hallmark piece for the raffle. When I took over Toronto Live, I remember one huge piece of advice that Lisa Sharp gave me. After all the work you're going to be putting in, it's only right that you take home a little bit for yourself. That means make yourself an extra set of rosettes so that you can display them in your own home. And secondly, that raffle money is rightfully yours. You can donate to charity if you prefer, but it's entirely up to you. Not all judges are made equal, and it's entirely possible that some people will not attend your show if your judging quality is not up to par. As I myself found out at my early beginnings of being a host, pulling some random horse person in off the street is not the best way to go about this, because model horses are shown in a completely different way. Finding somebody who already has judging experience is best, or at least someone who's willing to attend some judging clinics in your local area. Consider these items. How are you going to look for judges, and how will you advertise for them? How many judges will you need to make your show run smoothly? Remember, not one person can be in all places at the same time. Remember that not all judges are made equal. Play to their strengths. If you have a judge who's really good at confirmation, keep them in breed or workmanship. And lastly, be very careful of biases. Some judges will place their friends above all others, no matter how good the horses are on the table. Recording the results is my least favorite part of a model horse show. Most shows will use judges' sheets like these. A judge will just fill out the blanks with the horse's name and the person's initials, as well as what class this is, and it all gets entered into a spreadsheet after the show by the host. Historically, Entering results has taken me over 7 hours of straight up work. However, we're in the 21st century now. A few people offer an app that you can actually download and record results on your phone that automatically get updated to a spreadsheet. No more late nights inputting results. Now, there is a fee associated with this, but trust me, I think it's so worth it. But app or not, you're going to need Microsoft Excel or at least numbers to be able to get the results going. Everything needs to be edited with the correct horse's name, the correct initials, and the correct placings. Because if you have a Nan show, this all goes to Nan. This is so they know your horse qualifies. And of course, your showers want to see the correct results and know what their placings were. A few iterations will be made as people input the correct answers. And no, I don't recommend using Google Sheets. One false move and somebody could accidentally delete some cells. Feeding your attendees is one of the most important parts of hosting a model horse show. There are plenty of options, from potlucks to catering, from bringing in a simple pizza. Be careful though, this depends on your venue. Consult with your venue of what restrictions you have regarding food, and take stock on any allergies your showers might have. One thing is for sure, always make sure to supply fresh water for everyone. Also consider the after party. Most showers want to go have dinner after, and it's not up to you to arrange anything, but keep that in mind anyways. I'm going back to school for my master's in business, so the next parts are really up my alley. Contrary to popular belief, marketing is not just advertising. Marketing just means putting your product into the market. One of the first things you learn about in business school is the marketing mix. This consists of product, price, promotion, place. The 4 P's of marketing are what make products successful in the marketplace. Each item is equal in their importance, and if one of those items is not working out in your plan, it's not going to work for your show. Firstly, you have the product, which in this case is your model horse show. The place is your venue, where are you going to be hosting it? The promotion, of course, is the advertisement, and the price is how much are these people going to pay for attending your show. We've already talked about product, we've already talked about place, and now let's talk a bit about promotion. How are you planning on getting your show out there? There are the usual avenues like Facebook and Instagram. If you're going to be going through the NAMSA route, they'll advertise for you. And then consider posting in local hobby groups or at local tack stores. Wherever there's a horse community, they have probably collected briars at some point in their lives. Therefore, there's a pretty good chance it's a good place to advertise. Don't forget, there are also podcast groups like the Mares in Black. You can pay for advertising space and get featured on the show. Money can be a very uncomfortable topic for a lot of people, but it's very, very important to discuss this part. It's also one of the most important parts of the marketing mix. I want to be very clear. If you do not break even or make a little bit of money from your show, there is no point of you doing this. I'm happy to share all of my expenses. The venue I used was a local community college. For 12 hours, they charged me $500 flat. To set up the room for me, it was an extra $100 charge, and to reset the room at the end of the day was an extra $75. That extra HST charge is our local tax, which is 13%. For businesses, it's a flow-through, but for individuals, you will have to pay that full amount. My grand total came out to $762.75 just for the venue. Community center could run you about $400 flat if you do all the work yourself, but a large venue like a hotel room or conference center can be over $1,200. As you can see, my extra expenses including insurance, food costs, awards and rosettes, marketing and promotion, and extra prizes, and then just extra stuff in general. Did I really need to spend $730 on extra prizes and $130 on extra stuff? Well, no, but those are some of the things you have to consider when you're hosting your show. The first time you host a show, the setup fee is going to be so much more expensive than consecutive times you run the show, because you already have the stuff. The cost for the show was $75 per person, with raffle tickets running at about $2 a ticket, and another $5 for pizza if somebody wanted lunch. Since the numbers look pretty close together from expenses to profits, let's put it all together. Wow, I made a whole whopping $2.35 from running Toronto Live. Fabulous. Hosting a model horse show is definitely more so a labor of love rather than anything else. You are just not going to make that much money out of it at the end of the day, if at all. The entire hosting experience requires approximately 24 hours of dedication. That includes the lead up to the show itself, and the exit component of submitting results. I'm going to be straight up and honest and say it's a lot of work. You're going to get a lot of unsolicited opinions from your own community. Either your venue will be too far, your show will be too expensive, your ribbons are not the right color, anything in between. But if the financials are okay, and if you don't spend $730 on extra things, it's really quite fun. Not only does it let you put your stamp on your model horse community, but it lets you take a leadership role, of which it can actually go on your resume, on your LinkedIn page, and can get you into some serious schools like it did for me. It opens doors like judging at places like Breyerfest or other countries. And you get to sit back and see the fruits of your labor, really. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone. A lot of people double host or triple host shows to cut down on expenses. Everything that I just talked about could be down by 50% if you have a buddy helping you. And depending on your region, your expenses could be a lot less than what I have to deal with in the Greater Toronto area. I really hope this video was informative for someone who wants to host a model horse show, or at least sees it from a new perspective. Please, thank your show host, appreciate what they do, because without them, there is no model horse community in your area. For showing anyways. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. There are a lot more on my channel, including all about model horse showing. You can find me on Instagram @SelectArcane or on Facebook by the same name. Thanks for watching. Bye!